Hello all, Jamie Rodgers here today from Creative Expressions, and today we are launching my brand new collection. This is the Pierced collection, and you're going to find in here lots of background elements, a beautiful poinsettia foliage set, and you're going to find some incredible word dies which also come with really cool backing plates, and lots of those are interchangeable. Today we're going to be playing with the Christmas cottage die for our quick card effect, and our Christmas cottage die comes with two different dies. We have our main panel, and then we have a flat edge that means you can cut it out as a complete panel, or you can cut backing plates to go behind your intricate panel. Now I'm just going to use the main intricate panel, and I'm going to use this on top of an 8x8 scalloped white card, and I'm going to send this through my machine so that it cuts an aperture into the front of the card, as I haven't used that outside edge blade to cut it out as a freestanding item. Now when these cut, they're also going to do all these beautiful pierced detailings for you. So there's going to be pierced pieces that create tree effects. They're going to trace around the tops of the mountains. They even go around the moon, the stars, the sleighs and the reindeers, just to give you a little bit of detail, that little finishing touch of luxury and a point of difference from some other dies you may already have in your collection. Now once this is cut through and I've pierced out all of the pieces, we can start adding more decoration to these. So what I've done is actually on the die there are 2 or 3 debossed areas. They create the snow on the tops of the mountains, and they also create the sleigh. So I've gone ahead with a quickie glue pen and I'm just adding in some glue into those areas so that I can add some glitter on top. Now of course you could actually directly colour onto the front of your die if you would prefer, or you could of course add coloured glitters in the areas I'm working with at the moment. There's a lot of ways you can dress this up, but today I'm actually going to be doing the colouring from behind the panel. So on the front all I wanted was some subtle glitter. So I'm going to be using Cosmic Shimmer Polished Silk Glitter in Sparkle Star, which is a lovely iridescent glitter. And polished silk glitters are great actually because they're so fine, you can even stamp on top of them. So they're very, very delicate. While we wait for that to dry, I'm just going to pop this to one side. I'm going to discuss the frame I'm going to be adding to today's project. And I'm going to create this using this lovely scalloped square set from Sue Wilson. And I'm also going to use one of the pierced noble dies from Sue Wilson as well. Now these pierced dies are brilliant obviously because they match in with the brand new pierced collection. So if you do want to add pierced layers and mats to your project, or like this if you'd like to create a frame and continue that pierced effect, do check out Sue Wilson's pierced collection of shapes under the Noble set, because I think you'll find some that will match in really nicely. So I've cut my frame. I've also cut a piece of vellum from a larger one of the sets of dies of the pierced squares, and I'm going to add this to the back or the inside of my card. So I'm going to use some Cosmic Shimmer Dries clear glue, and I'm just going to go around and place as much glue as I can do onto all of the areas that I'm going to place that vellum onto. I do like it if you can clearly see that it's all attached, so I'm going to even add some glue onto the little stars, across of course our sleigh and reindeer, round the mountain range, down across the cottages and round the trees, just to make sure there's a lovely bond between the vellum and the card itself. I'm going to push that down and make sure that that's nice and adhered. Now with vellum we can colour on top of this, or actually I say the top, we tend to work from the back when we're colouring vellum, hence I've put it in place first of all, and I'm going to work on the reverse of it to actually add my colour. Now I'm going to use some alcohol markers to create this effect, but to be honest with you, these aren't necessarily the best item to be colouring on vellum with, so do have a look about and see what products you could be using to colour on vellum to get the best results. But I actually really like the alcohol markers. I'm going to be using some Graphmaster ones today, but again pretty much all brands you should find are going to work quite nicely. One of the downsides to working with alcohol markers at speed like I am here is you might find you end up with some ink pooling in a couple of areas, but I actually think that can create quite a nice texture to my sky or any bold areas, and you can always go back and add more layers if you need to once one is dry to sort of blend them or fade them out. So just play around and see how you get on. So I've added in the blue for my sky, I've added in the yellows for the lights on in my cottage, I've added the brown in for the roof in my cottage, and I'm adding in some green for my trees. Now this die of course would be great for paper piecing as well, so if you don't like the idea of colouring as I am, feel free to of course paper piece in some items, or do a mixture of both. That's one of the good things, you don't have to do all of one style or the other. Now that the vellum is in place, I'm going to work on the front of the card again, and I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to put my quickie glue pen into where the moon is, and I'm going to add some glitter on top of that. I didn't add colour to the moon on the reverse because I wanted it to just be a glittery moon. And you might wonder, well, why didn't I do all of the glittering at the same point? I don't want glitter getting attached in any of the nooks and crannies of the die, so I've purposely done as much as I could do before putting the vellum on, and then as little as I can do once the vellum is in place. I'm now going to bring in that frame that we cut earlier. I've used some foam tape to actually add that onto my project. We're now going to bring in one of the nameplates or the backing plates to the words. And we're going to use the backing plate from the Merry Christmas word, and we're going to add that down on the base. Now there's several of these and the words are pretty interchangeable. It's not a guarantee that all of them will fit, but quite a few of them you can interchange and play around with. So I'm now going to bring in my lovely wording, which is joyful tidings, obviously from the Joyful Tidings set, and I'm going to add that onto the backing plate from the Merry Christmas set. So again, showing you how you can interchange them. I'm then going to bring in some gems and start adding these on. So I'm going to use a red gem for Rudolph's nose. I'm going to do 3 little gold gems up in the top corner just to bring in a little bit more golden sparkle and matching with the stars, which we also coloured in yellow. And then I'm going to add some large gold gems into the corners of the card. And then I'm going to bring in the small gems again, and I'm going to add one either side of the nameplate, and I'm going to put them in the corners of the frame that we added on as well. This is a very quick and simple card, nothing at all complicated, and hopefully it's give you a couple of ideas on how you could use some of the dies from my brand new Pierce collection, which, as I say, has come out today, so you've possibly not seen these already, but they are now available at all good Creative Expression stockists worldwide. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye for now.